This was after I retired. I mean, within those 10 years of just losing myself, I ended up overdosing. Nobody knew. Doctors hid it. It's like I have like minions that just hide everything, right?
Some stuff about with the whole like Oscar De La Hoya thing.
I'm glad to go away from him.
Yeah.
He's f***ing crazy.
Wow. Oscar is, maybe he's doing drugs again. He's on some kind of drugs or something, but he's telling people that I lost, that he beat me in this fight right here.
Shane Mosley beating.
The fight that I clearly beat him.
Oscar De La Hoya hit back at Jake Paul after being called a cokehead during a recent press conference, a comment that sparked controversy and led fans to question De La Hoya's behavior and sobriety at the event. The exchange has escalated tensions between the two even further.
Jake, tu deseo de sacudir el mundo del boxeo es admirable. Eres un verdadero gallo loco por enfrentarte al ex campeón mundial Julio César Chávez Jr., quien aguantó los 12 asaltos contra un gran campeón de Canelo Álvarez. Ambos los felicito por aceptar este reto. La pelea coestelar presentada por Golden Boy es otro enfrentamiento espectacular.
Oscar De La Hoya has repeatedly criticized Jake Paul's approach to boxing, arguing that many of Paul's fights prioritize entertainment over true competition. In De La Hoya's view, Paul's tendency to stage high-profile bouts, often against unconventional or less challenging opponents, reveals a lack of genuine athletic ambition. He accuses Paul of avoiding up-and-coming fighters who, while less famous, represent a real test in the ring. According to De La Hoya, Paul treats boxing more like a spectacle than a serious sport, undermining its integrity by focusing on flashy promotions instead of legitimate sanctioned contests. In his eyes, Paul fails to respect the core principles that define boxing.
I think Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, look, it's one of those fights where, again, the world's going to watch. It's going to create new eyeballs for boxing. It's going to create a lot of news all over the world. But I stick to my message, and that is, if Jake Paul wants to take this sport serious, then he should be fighting young guys who are top 15, top 10, not heroes and legends like Mike Tyson, who are 60 years old.
Thank you, buddy.
That's it.
Reflecting on his transition out of active competition, Oscar De La Hoya has openly acknowledged the personal struggles he faced after retirement, including a reported reliance on mind-altering substances. He describes this period as a deeply challenging chapter that followed a celebrated career marked by courage and determination in the ring. Rather than disappearing from the public eye, De La Hoya has chosen to be candid about his post-retirement difficulties, highlighting how the pressures of leaving the sport can leave athletes vulnerable. His honesty has resonated with many, sparking broader conversations about the emotional hardships even the most accomplished athletes can face, and the unhealthy coping mechanisms they may turn to in the aftermath.
And call it, I don't know, somebody's looking down at me and watching over me or something, because I should have been dead many times over from that's happened to me, But
what do you mean by that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, bro.
What?
I mean, I was once, this was after I retired. I mean, within those 10 years of just losing myself, I ended up overdosing. Nobody knew. Doctors hid it. It's like, I have like minions that just hide everything, right? Just if Oscar does something, hide it. Out in the street, 5 a.m, just walking like a zombie, almost getting run over in the freeways. It's shit like that.
Canelo Alvarez recently expressed relief over parting ways with Oscar De La Hoya, even describing him as crazy in the context of their professional relationship. His comment reflects a sentiment shared by some fighters who view De La Hoya's behavior and management style as increasingly erratic. Canelo noted that after their split, De La Hoya's roster significantly shrank. With only Ryan Garcia remaining under his promotion, this decline suggests that other fighters may have distanced themselves due to internal disagreements or perceived instability. Canelo's remarks shed light on how some within the boxing world view De La Hoya's operations as troubled and inconsistent.
I've seen some stuff about with the whole like Oscar De La Hoya thing.
I'm glad to go away
Yeah.
from him.
Yeah.
'Cause he's crazy.
We're really good friends with Dana White.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like Oscar De La Hoya too, I said.
Oscar De La Hoya has announced he's coming out of retirement to box again.
Cocaine isn't cheap.
I think nobody, because he's an actor, right? Every time he's in problems, he don't have any fighter left.
Ryan Garcia, because he signed with him. Now Ryan Garcia, I think is in a problem with him. That's why nobody wants to be with him, because he's no lawyer.
When UFC President Dana White was asked about Oscar De La Hoya's controversial public statements, he didn't hold back, joking that De La Hoya must have been under the influence when he made them. While delivered with humor, White's jab added a high-profile voice from the MMA world to the growing criticism surrounding De La Hoya's recent behavior. His remark reflects broader skepticism within combat sports about De La Hoya's reliability and state of mind. It also adds to the ongoing conversation about the former boxing champion's mental clarity and public conduct.
And then he said he'll fight a real man in GSP. So do you have any comment back to Oscar De La Hoya? Because I know you haven't responded to him yet. Give me a headline, Dana. Give me a headline. Come on, man.
He's all jacked up on the yayo.
Yeah.
In another sharp remark, Dana White acknowledged that Oscar De La Hoya was once a formidable force in the ring, a talented, charismatic fighter with undeniable swagger. Hoya's recent public appearances, taking aim at a rumored fake set of abs, according to White, the confident champion of the past has given way to a figure defined more by questionable claims and exaggerated bravado. By contrasting De La Hoya's accomplished career with his current public image, White highlighted the growing gap between the legend he was and the controversy he now attracts.
Missed it, but was Oscar De La Hoya included in any of the tributes tonight?
I did. Yeah, he was in the video.
Okay.
He was in the video. He's an asshole, but you can't did. I mean, the guy, you know what I mean? He's a fucking lunatic. But he was a bad boy in his day. Before he got his fake abs. Yeah, he used to have real abs.
In a recent exchange, boxing legend Shane Mosley pushed back against Oscar De La Hoya's claim that he won their infamous bout, widely regarded by fans and analysts as a clear victory for Mosley, challenging De La Hoya's version of events. Mosley fired back with a rhetorical question, "What planet are you living on?" as he firmly defended his win. The dispute reignited their long-standing rivalry and exposed lingering tension, with Mosley viewing De La Hoya's remarks as an attempt to undermine his legacy. This clash highlights how De La Hoya's tendency to challenge widely accepted boxing narratives continues to stir backlash among fellow veterans.
Right in, let's see what's going on.
Here I am on top of the world, beating Pernell Whitaker, beating Julio Cesar Chavez, beating Hector Macho Camacho, beating Sugar Shane Mosley.
Beating Sugar Shane Mosley. I wonder where was I at when this happened? I didn't know. I didn't know that I lost the fight. I thought that I won this fight.
Sugar Shane Mosley.
Is it planet Earth? Where are we at? Like, when did I lose this fight? I didn't know that I lost. Nobody informed me that I lost the fight. Wow. Oscar is, maybe he's doing drugs again. He's on some kind of drugs or something, but he's telling people that I lost, that he beat me in this fight right here. The fight that I clearly beat him in, I thought. Let me know what you think. What did I win or lose, or what happened? Am I in another world? Are we on planet Earth? Or where are we at? Like, what's going on here? I totally don't understand what is going on. What's going on here? Well, this is clearly the first fight right here that we are fighting in. I have the Rampage shorts on. This is definitely the first fight. Even if you refer to the second fight, I mean, yeah, we could say there was probably a draw or something like that, but the judges said that I won the second fight too, and I beat him in the amateurs as well, so I don't know what fights he's talking about. This might have been like a long time ago when he was in his feelings or something, or when he was doing the drugs. I'm just now coming across it right now.
Floyd Mayweather recently took aim at Oscar De La Hoya for his absence during Ryan Garcia's post-fight press conference, noting that Garcia appeared on stage with only his father and no promoter by his side. Mayweather contrasted that moment with how he handles his own fighters, saying he would have stood by Gervonta Davis win or lose if the roles were reversed. He emphasized that being present in both victory and defeat is part of a promoter's responsibility. Mayweather's comments underscored the importance of accountability and emotional support in the promoter-fighter relationship.
He's been through a lot. You know, he's been through a lot. So a lot of times when he vent out and say certain things on social media, you know, I'm older, I'm wiser. You know, I was once his age, so I don't really worry about what the media say when they want us to go against one another. Meaning, I've always told him, I came and got you from the beginning because I wanted to see you be great. I wanted to see you do great pay-per-view numbers. I wanted to see you win. And that goes for every fighter that was ever under my banner. I never got involved with fighters to make money from them. I wanted to put them in a position so they can make a lot of money, so they can make a lot of revenue, not just inside the ring, but on the outside of the ring. So a lot of times when Tank vents out on social media, he's been through a lot, you know, throughout his life. So, but I take my hat off to him. I'm proud of him. Saturday night we had a game plan, and you know, a lot of times when he says certain things on social media, I say, you know, he's to me he's still a kid, and when I was that age, I probably would have did the same thing. I didn't have a Floyd Mayweather to stand behind me and tell me, you know, about what's right and what's wrong. He got the job done, but my hat off to Ryan Garcia, tough competitor, tough fighter, and the best man won. We all approach things in a different way. You know, I could really say something negative, I could really say something positive. But when it's all said and done, Oscar De La Hoya he's not my promoter. He was once an opponent of mine, and we all approach situations in a different way.
After a string of public controversies, including accusations of abandoning fighters and making erratic statements, Oscar De La Hoya has parted ways with most of his original roster. Today, Ryan Garcia remains the only major name still under the Golden Boy banner. Many attribute this decline to De La Hoya's increasingly contentious behavior, marked by unfiltered remarks, sharp criticism, a rocky relationship with the media. Canelo Alvarez, who previously split from De La Hoya himself, expressed sympathy for Garcia, noting the young fighter's challenging position as he navigates a pivotal moment in his career without strong promotional support. Canelo's words reflect genuine concern, highlighting how difficult it can be for a high-profile athlete to stand alone in the spotlight after losing. Reliable managerial backing.
I feel sorry for him. But he's boxing. He's boxing, and you know, things happen.
Did you watch the fight?
Yeah, of course. It was the fight.
He was a good dancer.
Yeah.
Would you rather see him fight Gus Haney again or Rowley again?
And you know, whatever. He's a good fighter. Just 1 year layoff. You know, it's hard.
Oscar De La Hoya stirred new controversy by publicly criticizing Canelo Alvarez for scheduling a fight during Mexico's Independence weekend, move he labeled as disrespectful to Mexican tradition and fans. The remarks reignited their long-standing feud, with several fighters defending Canelo's decision and dismissing De La Hoya's comments as out of touch. The tension came to a head in a dramatic press moment when De La Hoya confronted Canelo on stage, claiming that Golden Boy Promotions not Canelo himself was responsible for building his stardom. De La Hoya demanded respect for having launched Canelo's career, but Canelo fired back, accusing De La Hoya of seeking attention and meddling unnecessarily. The confrontation quickly escalated, and security had to intervene to separate the two.
Highlights from the Canelo versus Munguia final press conference. So this was actually a pretty heated press conference today. But the heat wasn't between Canelo and Munguia. It was between Canelo and Oscar De La Hoya. So Oscar walks up to the podium and says, look, Canelo, this whole build up to the fight, you haven't been doing any promoting. All you've been doing is disrespecting me. Don't forget who made you into a global superstar. And then he went on to say, I'm paraphrasing, the company that built you into a superstar has one name on it, and it's mine, so put some fucking respect on it. I don't even know if De La Hoya sounds like that, but it was 20 minutes ago. I can't remember. Whew, I just felt an earthquake here in SoCal. It scared the shit out of me. But anyways, whatever De La Hoya said got a rise out of Canelo. And as you see here, he started barking at Oscar De La Hoya, saying a bunch of Spanish curse words that I haven't heard since the playground in elementary school. Then Canelo takes the podium and tells his side of the story. This was all in Spanish. Shortly after, the translator comes out and says, oh, well, Canelo's excited to be the first Mexican to fight another Mexican for 4 belts. And as for the De La Hoya stuff, and Canelo just cuts the translator off and speaks in English and says, he tried to steal money. He's a fucking asshole. That should sum up the entire press conference right there. The real storyline for this fight is the beef between Canelo and Oscar. Everything else that happened today was just standard pre-fight formalities. This press conference today could have been super boring if it wasn't for the Golden Boy.
Over time, Oscar De La Hoya's erratic public appearances, incoherent statements, and unfiltered rants have raised concerns that his struggles may go beyond substance use to include deeper lifestyle or mental health issues. Many Reddit users described his recent commentary as painful to watch and marked by confusion.
I will fight till the end, I will bleed till the end, and I will go down till the end. You looked great, you feel great, you were amazing, and guess what? Now it's my turn. I'm just a little hush puppy.
You're a hush puppy,
in the Snoop Doggy world. I love Cunningham's physique. Look at, he looks like a Adonis. He looks beautiful. He looks in shape.
Hey, Al,
look
I
at
know
the way he's
you're
making him a miss.
Al, I know you're a straight arrow guy, but how is it be feeling high for the first time?
Well, I will say this is probably the first boxing broadcast on which I've gotten
a real deal. He's the USSA, baby.
Well, he was a part of the Navy for 4 years, so he's not the USSR.
That was a nice prize by Frank Mir. He's bringing the game to the table, baby. He's bringing it all to the table. He's fighting USSA, baby. Against USSA, Frank Mir is doing incredible.
Oscar De La Hoya has openly shared how his transition into retirement felt isolating and overwhelming. He has spoken candidly about battling depression, losing his sense of purpose, struggling with a desperate longing for the spotlight. Discussing his experiences with rehab, the challenge of maintaining a public image, and the painful realization that much of his life had been a facade, De La Hoya revealed a vulnerable side rarely seen. His honesty has sparked important conversations about the emotional toll of fame. While some continue to criticize his behavior, many respect his courage in exposing the confusion and disorientation that athletes often face when stepping away from the ring.
See, I would love to interview Oscar. And in interviewing Oscar, my first question would be, you talked about your addiction to partying, to booze, to women. You were a heavy drinker, and you admitted that you were drunk most of the time of one of your last boxing camps. Have you 12-stepped outside of your recovery when you went to rehab? Do you have a sponsor? Are you with other sober men? And does that help you out in your current?
In a heartfelt admission, Oscar De La Hoya revealed that during his career, he entered rehab and came to see that his world was built on facades. Reflecting on the challenges of sustaining a public persona, he described the struggle of juggling a flawless image while privately battling inner demons. In interviews, he spoke openly about pushing himself into treatment and facing difficult truths about dependency and pretense. This confession sheds light on the intense pressures athletes endure to maintain a larger-than-life image. By acknowledging these struggles, De La Hoya adds depth to his story, shifting from conqueror to a conscientious survivor.
You know, it's the first time it's like, yeah, I'll go and get that heat off my back. Everything will be fine after several days, a few weeks, whatever. But you don't do it. You don't do it because you want to. You don't do it because you need help. You do it because other people want it for you. It just doesn't work that way.
What went wrong between when you first got out of rehab in 2011 and when you made the decision to go back a couple of years later?
I just didn't accept that I had a problem. I couldn't accept it.
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more.